What's up, guys? Welcome to Geekery Gamers Collective. Today we're doing a very, very special show we like to call Book of the Month, where the concept is you are a virgin to video games, and you say, give me a game to play, a quintessential game every month to play before I die. And we say, worry no more, my friend. Mm-hmm. We got you covered. We thought we'd kick things off with a bang with our probably most controversial favorite, and that is Wind Waker.
Yeah.
And I thought it'd be great to bring this one up because there's a lot of hype about Zelda again with the new one just announced at E3.
It looks so good.
We thought we'd bring it back, and this is... I'm almost always chastised for saying that this is my favorite Zelda game.
That's very strange.
I don't know why.
Yeah, that's very strange.
Well, because Ocarina is... It's like the Final Fantasy VII concept. Mm-hmm. You know, you ask a real person who's played all the Final Fantasy games, they're not going to tell you Final Fantasy VII is the best one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I feel about Zelda. I've played every Zelda game. Mm-hmm. And this is my favorite Zelda game.
Yeah,
my favorite Zelda game.
We put Ocarina as like 3.
So what we're going to do is we're going to list through our top 3, just like our favorite reasons for why this is a quintessential game. Okay. Me, personally, the thing that always grabbed my attention about this game are the visuals. This game is... We're playing the remastered version right now. You can't fucking notice the difference.
No,
the visuals don't look updated at all, and that's what's so cool. Because the visuals still just pop out at you. What is it, 13 years later? Yep. This game's 13 years old. It's still...
It's weird to think that there's probably someone watching this video right now that was born when this game was not released.
Yeah. I'd like to not think about that. But this game is 13 years old. It doesn't look a day over brand new with this visual style. It stands the test of time to me, and it always will. More than most games ever will.
Yep.
Even, like the other day I went back and I played Gears of War 3. Game looks like shit compared to current console graphics.
Yeah.
That's just such a great thing to have for this game.
It's timeless.
Yes. The gameplay doesn't age ever. The combat, the puzzle solving, the adventure, everything plays so tight. It's
just Zelda.
Yeah.
You know, to be honest.
Every Zelda game plays great, but this
one specifically plays
great. I can't find a thing wrong with it to this day. I really can't. And my last specific point is I've played this game hours, probably days, poured that much time into this, and every time I pick this game up again, I find new things. I find, the world's huge. You find new things in every nook and cranny. When you really get down to the nitty gritty, there's so much to explore in just the ocean. You could spend days just in there. And all these things, to me, make this game timeless right off the bat. It's obvious right from the start that this is a timeless game.
Yeah. Anyone who's been watching our videos at all should know, probably, that this is my all-time favorite game. Hands down. I adore The Legend of Zelda. Well, in general, I adore The Legend of Zelda, but I specifically love this game. I have a really long, storied history with this game that I won't get into, that I might get into some other time. But for me, the reasons are fairly simple as to why this game is a quintessential game for any gamer. If you've never... anyone who... Even if you don't like video games... So, to begin with, it has a story that is universally approachable from everyone. Whereas with Link, generally, in most of the other stories, it's go save the princess, whatever. At the start of the game, you you don't know the princess. The princess doesn't get introduced until about halfway through the game. And you are trying to rescue your sister. So you automatically develop this connection with one of the NPCs because you're like, oh, that's my sister. I have an inherent connection with it. Basically, from that point on, you are told you are going to go on this adventure and rescue your sister. And by doing that, you have to go through and explore this amazing world that is just dripping with atmosphere. Like, every aspect of this world is phenomenal. Every nook and cranny of this world has something in it. There's so much polish, so much care and love was put into the world design. It is truly original. Whenever this game came out, I don't think there was another game ever that had been like this. As far as you have this vast ocean with just so many islands, and there's tons of islands that you can just explore that don't really contribute anything to the story. Like, every single island in this game has something to offer, and not all of them. It's phenomenal because you play it and you feel like an explorer out, like, on the vastness of the ocean. And the whole while that you're doing this, you are put in the shoes of the absolute most likable and original Link to date. I will say most of the time Link is kind of just a sack of potatoes with no personality, but this Link is just, I mean, he literally oozes visual personality. It's not necessarily and what's really interesting is his personality isn't conveyed through dialogue. His personality is conveyed through his facial emotions, his actions, and you get the sense of who he is as a person, as a character, without ever having to, like, without him ever having to say anything. And that's really original. I don't think there's ever been another Zelda game, other than maybe Skyward Sword, but that game's not good. Other than maybe Skyward... Debatable. It's not terrible, but other than Skyward Sword, I don't think there's another game that has a Link quite like this. That has a Link as likable as this one. And that's basically, I mean, short version of why I love this game, which should tell you a little bit about what the long version is like.
First main reason why I fucking just think this is one of the best games around, and definitely one of the best Zelda games, is when, like, I recommend a Zelda game to someone, it isn't Ocarina, it isn't like Majora's Mask, it isn't even one of the older ones. I recommend this one. It, like, exemplifies everything that, like, makes Zelda, like, important, in my opinion. Like, the music in it is the best. One way to, like, get a game fresh, especially with Nintendo, is to, like, just try and make it different just a little bit. And more than, like, even, like, the Metroid games or, like, most Mario games, this game is what made a unique impact on Zelda. For the most part, in Zelda, you go to, like, villages and everything, and you just pass by creatures and monsters, and you travel through mostly, like, forested land or, like, desert. This one, you're just sailing. There isn't much going on in the water, but you can always, like, see what's going on in the distance. You know what I mean?
And I would venture to say that there is a lot of stuff going on in the water. You could get caught up and fight. You could fight sharks. You can come across these massive obelisks in the water that your enemies are stationed at, like their outposts. You can come across just random islands. I would venture to say there is quite a lot going on in the water. I mean, you can, like, for someone who's freshly playing this game, you could just encounter an octopus and not know what the hell to do. Or
that's true,
you could encounter.
I wasn't necessarily saying there wasn't a lot in the water. It's more of like there's not really that much enemies, you know?
Yeah, there's not a lot of enemies whenever it comes to sailing, and I think that adds to it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say, man, before you busted
I wasn't.
nuts. But I think it just added to the game, because it really made the world feel that vast. It made the ocean feel like an ocean. You know what I'm saying? I like that they didn't show much of Hyrule either. I thought they were just gonna, like, make that the second half of the game, but they can kind of, like, offset it, you know what I mean? My third point's kind of, like, hit home with Josh's. The game is just perfect at making you feel like you're in an adventure. Like, more than the other ones. Like, in the other ones, you kind of, like, are directed in most of the things. Like, most of, like, the side things. But in this one, you kind of just, you find them on your own. Just through, like, going to the quests and...
experience. You find them through experience.
Exactly. Which gives it the replayability. It's not even necessarily that. It's more of like continuation. Because if you didn't get 100% max, you can always just go back and play it again.
That is why we think Wind Waker is a quintessential game. We hope you guys agree, and if you like this video, then like it on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully you guys watch more like this. We plan on doing this at least once a month. Thanks again.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. See you.